We'll be getting started here in just 1 minute. We are recording this, so we will be sending out links. So you, just in case you miss anything, you'll be able to see it. All right, so here we go. It's 2 o'clock, right at the top of the hour. My name's Kevin Vogel. I'll be your host today. And today we're going to be covering two important topics. One of them has to do with ransomware, another one that has to do with training. And today I'm joined by my compadres, Melissa and Alexander. Guys, say hello.
Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Afternoon, everyone. Thank you.
All right, and like I said, today we're going to be going over some steps to recover from ransomware when attacked inside of Office 365, Microsoft 365. And then Alex is going to be going over the Inkscape training review, how you can get training right out of your Inkscape portal. It's a great way to keep your people up to date on the applications inside of Office 365, as well as developing your own criteria for different training courses. So with that, I'll get started here. So like I said, we're going to be covering ransomware. And I don't know if you watch the news, but if you do, you see it all over the place with people getting attacked, whether it's healthcare, cities that got attacked by ransomware, and people asking for a lot of money to unlock your data. So one of the things that we thought we would do is walk through an article and a process that Microsoft has in place that uses the tools inside of Microsoft 365 to help you avoid getting, at least recovering from your attack of ransomware. Now, just to let you know, this is going to be covering Exchange Online. It's also going to have some pieces of Microsoft Defender for Office 365, both Plan 1 and 2, and then Microsoft 365 Defender. So these are some of the products that Microsoft has built in to their Microsoft 365 platform to help you recover from a ransomware attack. And you got to take every precaution, as it says here, to protect your organization, but you could still fall victim to ransomware. A lot of companies have, but recovering from ransomware is really the most important thing. So we're going to cover the 8 steps that will give you the best chance to recover your data and stop internal spread of the infection. And to kick it off, backups. Now, most people, and we talk to a lot of people that have Office 365 and everything up in the cloud, and they think that they don't need to back up their data. That's really not true. Microsoft does keep a copy, even if you delete things for, up to 14 and in some cases 30 days. But really, if you're looking to be able to recover from a ransomware attack, get your data back, backups is the #1 step that you guys need to do. And I don't care if you use, almost all the big vendors out there, the Commvaults of the world, the Veeams of the world, the Veritaases and so on, all now have a solution around backing up Office 365. And it's not just your mail anymore, especially now with Teams, with OneDrive, with all the data that you have up inside of Office 365, backups is a really important thing to start, test, make sure that you can recover from one of these attacks that are out there. So back up your data. If I can tell you to do anything, it would be that. And this way, at least you have a fighting chance to get your data back without having to pay those exorbitant fees. Step 2, and this presentation is going to be available to you. This does have links that are available in here, so you'll be able to actually get the documents. But disable Exchange Active Sync and OneDrive Sync. It's a key point to get your data so it stops the spread of the ransomware and gives you a fighting chance to recover from it. So you'll see that there's a couple of links here: how to disable Active Sync, how to enable or disable if you're using MAPI or you're using POP3. There's a way to also do those. You can also go in here and pause your OneDrive sync so that you're not replicating your OneDrive or any of these infected documents that will help the spread of ransomware. And like I said, all this presentation will include all of these links, and we will be sending it out to everyone that's even registered. Even if you didn't show up, we're going to make sure that you get this document so you have all these links on exactly how to disable your Active Sync for your Exchange Online. Very, very important. And then you want to remove the malware from the affected devices. You can run a full current antivirus scan on all suspected computers and devices and detect and remove the payload that's associated with ransomware. Don't forget to scan those devices that are synchronizing data, like we talked about with OneDrive is one application that synchronizes data, but you might have multiple applications out there that is synchronizing data between either end users or back into your server environment. So make sure that you take a look at those. Things like map drives, you got to look at them. You can use Microsoft Defender, and again, like I said, there's a link here. You can also use, for those people that are using some of the older clients out there, you can use Microsoft Security Essentials. And again, another link is to those. One of the new features that's built into Windows 10 and now Windows 11 is the malicious software removal tool. Again, there's a link to that right here. So, you can use those. You can use also Windows Defender offline or troubleshoot your problems and detecting. You'll see that there's a whole Microsoft Help article to help you get rid of the malware that might be infecting your devices. So really important to go through these steps. Once you do all that, once you've cleaned up all of your malware that's out there, all of the things that are affecting your ransomware, then you want to start recovering your files. And this is obviously the step mostly from your backups that you have out there. So after you've completely eliminated all the ransomware payloads from your environment, then you could start recovering your files. You can use file histories in Windows 10 and 11, but be careful because some of those files, if you haven't checked those histories, might be infected. So be careful by doing that. Ransomware could still be inside of those files. So be careful to use your file history instead of your backup. Backup is by far the safest way, especially if you go back 14 days or more. That's probably the best case scenario for you guys to do that. In a folder is synchronized with OneDrive and you aren't using the latest version of Windows, there might be some limitations when we're talking about file history. So be careful of that when you're starting to recover your files from those specific locations. Like I said, recovering your files from OneDrive, that's a big one. There's a whole article here on how to restore your files from OneDrive. I made sure I put in the link to it. And you might want to go back to a previous point in time within the last 30 days. Obviously, the longer you go back, the safer you're probably going to be. And then recover deleted emails. In the rare case that ransomware deleted all of your email, you can probably recover the deleted items and you could go to these two articles that are here. One of them is from your user's mailbox, the other one's from Outlook. So if you want to recover those deleted emails, if this malware or ransomware just basically deleted everything out of your inbox or all of your folders, you might need to go in and do this. The last two steps are re-enable Exchange Active Sync and OneDrive for Active Sync. Obviously, once you get to the point where you're comfortable with all of the data that you brought back, you're going to want to start syncing these devices back up so they start getting mail again. So once you make changes in OneDrive, it gets synced both ways. And then block OneDrive sync for specific file extensions. If there's a specific attack mode that you found out during your recovery process, you can go in here and actually I put the article in here where you can actually stop OneDrive from syncing certain files, whether, you know, exe files, or if for some reason a zip file is causing it. So anything with an extension, you can go in and stop the sync process for any of those specific file extensions. So these 8 steps are a great way for you to actually at least recover from a malware or ransomware attack without having to pay that exorbitant fee that you see out there. Now, I'm going to open it up to questions, and I'll let Alex go next and actually, you know, start to talk about the training, and at the end, we'll try to answer all your questions. So with that, Alex, I'll stop sharing my desktop here, and you can start sharing yours.
Kevin, actually, if you could show that one slide briefly.
Oh, sure, no problem.
I don't have it on my computer. And I believe I heard someone chime in. Was it Todd that had a question? Perhaps not. Okay.
Nope, I'm sorry. It was not me.
Okay, well, one of the things that you want to do, obviously you want to report the attacks to law enforcement, submit a report, and these the links down here are for the different countries out there. It's really important also that you report this to your CSP. For instance, Sirius here is your cloud service provider. This way we can take the appropriate actions with Microsoft to help stop the spread of any type of ransomware account. So with that, I will go in here. Here are just some additional resources that I've included in the presentation. They all have hyperlinks to them. I tried to give you as much information as I could find to help you at least, you know, be ready, be able to recover if you get attacked. And with that, okay, let's go to your slides here, Alex.
Thank you, Kevin. Good morning, West Coast, and good afternoon, everyone else. Thank you for taking some time today to join us on this call. My short little segment is about one of our value adds that all of you as CSP clients have access to, which is the learning management system that we often refer to as Office 365 training. Right here, what you see shared by Kevin is a snapshot of the learning path templates. So these learning path templates are part of this learning management system. They include a combination of various Office 365 training courses. They can be customized, or you can use the templates as they are. And you can assign them to individual employees. You can assign them to an entire department or a group within a department. You can hierarchy the way that you want down to 3 levels. To get started on this, in case you haven't kicked this off already, I'll just share my screen here real quick. Sorry, wrong screen there. Too many monitors. All right, here we go. So in your Inkscape platform, if you have not started the learning management system before for your organization, you would just click in this training tile right here, and a small pop-up will appear that will ask you a few simple questions to begin. It'll ask you, as a global admin, this does require global admin to kick this off. It will ask you for your name, your email address, and also the domain name that your employees are using. And once this is kicked off, then Melissa or myself can help you finish setting up the learning management system, which includes a number of free licenses. You'll have to talk with your client executive or reach out to Melissa and myself, and we can let you know exactly how many free licenses are included with this learning management system. Once you are in this platform, once Melissa and I have you set up, as a portal admin, you'll have access to a number of dashboards. For example, you can keep track of employees' progress, who the top learners are. So for example, let's say you have some sort of incentive program where you give company swag, or you give a gift card for any learners that go the extra mile and take additional Office 365 courses. Maybe you only required them to complete a beginner level of Excel, for example, but they decided they want to be a power user. And so they have gone much further and taken additional Excel courses. As well as you also see any learning paths. This here is a sandbox account, but if you assign any learning paths to employees and to departments, you can track the progress. You can see, have they finished all the videos of a course? Have they finished an entire learning path with all the courses in it? Have they passed all the exams that come included with this course? So everything is gamified, everything is measured and tracked, which may be more advantageous than, let's say, using YouTube videos, which may be of excellent quality, you know, when they were first released 6 months ago, 8 months ago, but maybe Microsoft Teams has changed a few times since then. All these videos, about 1,500 of them, are updated by Microsoft MVPs regularly. So you always know that your employees are learning with the latest information at their disposal. So this is the perspective here of a portal admin. Individual employee, when they go into their portal, they would be able to see their own progress, of course, just to them themselves, any courses that they've completed, active courses that they haven't completed. They also have access to the full course library, as well as, of course, you as global admins. Everyone has access to Microsoft Teams courses, Office 365, a number of legacy areas as well, additional training such as security training. So for example, if they go into Microsoft Teams, here we see that there are 4 individual courses. We see the length of time. This first course here is over 4 hours. The Teams calling course is only 1 hour and 33 minutes. And in here, we see the individual courses on how to train up to be comfortable, for example, here with Microsoft Teams calling. They can take quizzes. You can choose as an admin whether your employees are required to pass those quizzes and pass the final exam for the course, or if that's just optional. And also from a help desk perspective, I thought maybe this might be interesting as well. Is that any of these individual videos, they can be shared out to anyone in your company, even someone that does not have at the moment a license for this learning management system. You just click the share button next to the video that answers the specific questions that they may have, like how to add a speed dial number, for example. And with this pop-up, you have a direct link to that video that's valid for 7 days. If you have any other questions about the platform, please reach out to me and Melissa. We'd love to give you a chance to get set up, to answer any questions, and to show you around. Another option is if you have your own content that you wish to upload. Let's say you have some videos on YouTube, but you have no way to track the progress of your employees going through those videos, and you like them to read certain documents. Maybe you have PDFs, maybe you have Word documents you also want to require to be read and have some sort of a test in place to make sure that they fully understood what they read and what they have watched and the videos that you yourself have in your own organization created. You can also upload those documents and those videos inside the learning management system, and it would be just like any of these pre-built courses where they have a trackable progress and exams and quizzes as well. That does not come included by default, but that is something that can be unlocked if that's something that would be of interest for your organization. If you have any questions, please, just chime in. I will, in the meantime, I'll turn over the call back to Kevin. I know we have some announcements to make as well. Thank you, everyone.
And a couple of things, Alex, while you're still on the phone. How can the end users access this training? Is it only through a browser? Can I embed this in Teams?
That's a great.
How can I access this?
That's a great question. So by default, you have access to this inside your web browser. You'll have a unique URL specific to your company, and your employees, as well as any of the portal admins in your company, would use your Microsoft single sign-on. There's just a single sign-on button that they would click and they would just log in. So there's no new passwords, no new screen names to learn in order to have access to the platform. Now, there is another option, and that is if you wish this to be front and center through the day-to-day, you could have it integrated inside of Microsoft Teams. That's an option we have. Essentially, this training would be a Microsoft Teams app that can be integrated. It takes about half an hour. We require a Teams admin from your side or global admin from your side, and one of our technical experts on our side to go through it together and get it set up. And it would propagate maybe overnight, usually is how Microsoft has it set up, at least for the East Coast anyway. Maybe West Coast would have access to it sooner, and you should see it the following day. It would be company-wide accessible.
And the nice thing about doing that is, you can restrict access, obviously, by only having a private team and allowing just certain people to have access to it. Or you can obviously create an organizational team and allow everyone in your organization access. It's just a great way to actually deploy it with teams. Keeps them in that same look and feel that they're used to. The other thing that I know that a lot of my customers, you don't just have to use this for IT training or software training. I have a lot of people that use it for new hires, for instance, on how to use things like the copy machine or the phone system, or I do have some even manufacturing people that have used it to develop training for forklift people that, have to drive a forklift and, how to operate it and the different equipment that might be out in a factory situation or a warehouse. So don't just think of this as just training around IT. Think of this as a more broader type of training platform that, for instance, before they can operate a forklift, they have to pass a written test to be able to go in and take maybe the driving test like you would for operating a car, for instance. So these are great things that are available to you as part of the training platform. So thanks, Alex. I think that's, a lot of people have used this. One of the things that you kind of breezed over, but it is really important, is how they keep this updated with content. As you know, Microsoft is always updating applications, updating their platform. And, training somebody on a YouTube video, like you said, that's 2 years old, it might not even work that way. It might not even look that way anymore. The nice thing about this is, as you probably saw in just the one that Alex showed, it's already got the first half updates for Teams already in there and deployed. So this is kept up on a monthly basis by MVPs, by very, very smart people around the different Microsoft applications. Obviously, if you do any of the custom applications, that's something that you guys would have to keep up with around applications that aren't in the Office 365 suite, but we'll keep up the training for you on anything in there that's Microsoft. So very, very important on that. So anybody have any questions on anything that we covered today, whether it's ransomware, whether it's the training portal, or even anything around Office 365 in general? Obviously, a lot of changes coming from Microsoft, as always. You know, that's the one thing they keep doing is evolving this platform to really help their customers do their job better, get more productivity. And as a partner, that's, you know, our job is to educate you on what's coming. I know that, you know, Microsoft Viva is now available. If you haven't checked it out inside of your Teams platform, you can right now deploy Insights, which I use every day. It's a great tool that gives you dynamic information about your and what you're doing inside of Office 365, and really is a help to me to make sure I'm focusing, and I actually lock out some focus time to get some real work done. With that, let me just go back to the presentation here, because I know we have one more Together Tuesday for this year, and we're going to be covering the Inscape Productivity Insights, the brand new one that's coming out. Hopefully it will be out this week, and we'll be demoing it for you. It's really got some great new information to help you manage your productivity from your end users, give you some really in-depth information. And then we're going to be talking about the top support tickets that we're getting in our help desk, just so you guys know what's happening out there, not just in your environment, but all the environments. And we do hundreds, if not thousands, of customers that are asking our help desk questions all the time. So great way to do that. We are going to be sending out the October layout. I know we have 4 or maybe even 5 different topics that we're going to be covering on Together Tuesdays here in October. So hopefully this is something that you guys take advantage of. We try to make sure the content is fresh and different every single time. But if there are topics that you want to hear about, please let us know. Go, you know, let Alex or Melissa or myself put it here in the chat if you want. But, you know, give us a topic that maybe you want to hear about, and we'll try to include it in our schedule going forward. I noticed that Stacy's on here. Stacy, is there anything that I didn't cover that you want covered from a marketing standpoint?
I don't believe so. I think you and Alex covered everything pretty well.
Okay, great. All right, any questions? I know we're getting up here. We got 3 minutes. We try not to run over on these things. If not, obviously we recorded this. We're going to be sending out the presentation with all the links inside the presentation. We're always available for you. Please reach out to your client manager if you have any questions around Microsoft, around really anything that Microsoft touches. Also, you know, we're here to help you and your end users use all the things that are built into Microsoft 365 and get the most value out of your Microsoft investment. So with that, have a good one and see you next week.